Hi, welcome back to Wayfinder. Today I'm looking at some very fundamental navigation and I'm going to show you how to find north using your wristwatch. Also, I'll show you how to set up an activity you might like to try with your kids, which could have helped to alleviate some of the boredom being caused by the current lockdown. Finding north using a wristwatch is really very easy. All you need is a view of the sun and an analog wristwatch. Now, this can be considered somewhat of a survival skill, I suppose, because if you find yourself geographically embarrassed at any time whilst in the bush, being able to quickly and easily find your direction can certainly save you a lot of anxiety. I'm not going to go into the physics of exactly how this works, as that's a topic for another post. All I'm going to do is just show you how to quickly and easily find north using your wristwatch, also how to set up an improvised compass so that you can find east, south and west as well, and show you an activity that you might like to try with your children to instill some navigation skills in them and alleviate some of the boredom of being trapped in the house. To find north using my wristwatch, I orientate the 12 hand towards the sun, and then I take note of which direction the hour hand is pointing, and I go halfway between the hour hand and the 12, and that is going to be roughly north. So again, really simple, just pointing my 12 o'clock at the sun, and then bisecting half of that distance, the hour hand, and that is my north point. Now this is only true for the southern hemisphere. In the northern hemisphere, I'd point the hour hand at the sun, and I would bisect half the distance to the 12 o'clock, and that is due to the fact that the sun rotates roughly around the equator. So in the southern hemisphere, the sun sits in the northern aspect of the sky, whilst in the northern hemisphere, the sun will sit in a more southerly aspect of the sky. Once you have determined north using your watch, it's very easy to extrapolate east, south and west. One way to do this is to place the watch on the ground so it is aligned with the 12 o'clock facing towards the sun, and knowing that to find north, I merely bisect the distance between the hour hand and the 12 o'clock, giving me my north point. From here, I draw a circle around my watch with the watch at the centre. Then, in the direction of north, I draw an arrow. I then take that arrow to the other edge of the circle, and that forms a north-south line for me. I can then remove the watch and draw another line at 90 degrees, and this will give me north, south, east and west. To validate this and just see how accurate the method is, I've got my trusty compass here and I'll lay this along the same line. So as you can see, it's not 100% accurate, but it's very close, and this gives me a very good feel of where north, east, south and west lies. Finding north with a wristwatch, really very easy. I simply point my 12 o'clock at the sun, I then bisect the distance between the 12 o'clock and the hour hand, and that is my north point. This is for the southern hemisphere. For the northern hemisphere, I'd do the opposite. I'd point my hour hand at the sun, I'd then bisect the distance between the hour hand and the 12 o'clock, and that would give me my north direction. This is due to the fact that in the southern hemisphere, the sun sits slightly northerly in the sky, and in the northern hemisphere, the sun will sit slightly southerly in the sky, as it more or less sits over the top of the equator as the Earth spins on its axis. Now, an activity that you might want to try with your children is what I just showed you before, is making an improvised compass. You can use this method to find out what direction your street is facing, or which way the kitchen windows face, or your bedroom windows. Little things like that might be something that you can have a bit of fun with the children, alleviate a little bit of the boredom of being stuck in the house for this current COVID-19 lockdown. Hopefully you got some information out of that and it was enjoyable. Thanks very much for watching and have a nice day.